Well, I think the big upset of the weekend is going to come out of the Pac-12, and my bold prediction is that the USC Trojans take the Pac-12 championship game over Stanford and eliminate any chance of the Cardinals getting into the college football playoff. Still a Stanford defense that, even though they beat Notre Dame last weekend, I just don't trust them, especially against a team with as much speed as USC's got. When you talk about a backfield that includes Ronald Jones, Justin Davis, Trey Madden, they throw so much at you on the ground, and they've realized that that's really the way they need to win games, not put it all on Cody Kessler. And I think USC is going to score a lot of points. They now go from Clay Helton, from interim coach to permanent coach. I think the pressure is going to be off. I think they're playing for something bigger to get to the Rose Bowl. I love where USC is mentally right now, and they're going to be the Pac-12 champions. My bold prediction out of the ACC championship game is that Clemson dominates. This is a Clemson team that has not really played all that well the last few weeks. North Carolina has been surging. A lot of people think this could be an upset potential, that Clemson could get knocked out of the playoff, or that it might be a down-to-the-wire, pretty close game. But here's the thing with Clemson. I think that they put it in cruise control after they beat Florida State. The last few weeks, they haven't been as sharp, but in some ways that's been by design. Emotionally, they haven't had to get up for these opponents. It's been sort of a string of overmatched teams, but now they know they've got a challenge, and to me that's when Clemson has played their best this year. I think they're going to go into the playoff with a full head of steam, and I think they dominate North Carolina, 3 touchdowns or more. Well, the bold prediction in the MAC championship game is a win for Northern Illinois. It's just what this program does. It has been the dominant program in the league for quite some time. They didn't look like the best team for much of this season, but they got into the championship game, won their division, and I think they're going to beat Bowling Green. And then secondarily, on top of that, Bowling Green coach Dino Babers, shortly after the game, will announce that he is the new coach at Syracuse. Babers has been talking to several schools about jobs, and USA Today Sports reported earlier this week that Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, pulled out of the Syracuse search. That clears the way for Babers to take that job, but he's not going to do it till after the game. Unfortunately, I think he's going to leave Bowling Green on a sour note. A lot of talk about 5 and 7 teams getting into bowl games because there's just not enough teams that won 6 this year. But there's still a couple that have an opportunity to get to that 6-win mark, and one of them is Kansas State. And my bold prediction here in the Big 12 is that they're going to win their season finale at home against West Virginia to get to 6-6 and put a very positive end of the season on a year that's been very difficult. They lost their starting quarterback, Jesse Ertz, literally in the first quarter of their first game of the season. They've had to play about 5 different guys at that position, just an injury-filled year for Kansas State. But when they've played well, they've really given some of the better teams in the league a scare. They've had a couple weeks to prepare here, and I think Kansas State will get to that 6-win mark at West Virginia's expense and take one of those 5 and 7 teams out of the bowl mix. Well, there's probably not much doubt about the way the SEC championship game is going to play out. But my bold prediction here is that Derrick Henry runs for over 200 yards for Alabama and makes his final argument to win the Heisman Trophy, then goes to New York next week and takes home the hardware. I think Derrick Henry has been sort of trending toward the lead for the Heisman for quite some time, but probably needs one more great performance to seal the deal in the eyes of a lot of voters. I think he's going to do it at the Georgia Dome, that fast track indoors. Florida's got a very good defense, but I think Alabama's going to be committed to getting him the ball, and Henry's going to deliver and win the Heisman.